Whether you just discovered Voice AI and are figuring out whether this business is actually viable, or you built some demos but you haven't actually closed the client, or you thought you closed the client and the deal fell through, well, this video is for you. Because I'm gonna walk you through the exact 30-day roadmap I'd follow if I had to start a Voice AI agency from scratch in 2026. And here's what's different about this approach. I'm gonna spend way more time on the sales reality that most people avoid than on the technical building, because that's where most people actually fail. Not because their agents aren't good enough, but because they never close their first client. And I see it all the time. They're spending months perfecting their tech stack and building complex agents and concepts, when what you actually need is a working demo and somebody who's willing to pay for it. I'm going to show you a deep week-by-week roadmap that you can start executing on today. We're going to cover your skills audit, the foundations, your niche discovery and use case, and then focus on the sales reality, because that's the actual hurdle. So not only am I going to give you a roadmap of what to do, but also what to avoid, because in 2026, speed is important, and avoiding the wrong paths is just as important as taking the right ones. And if you have not yet watched the full masterclass that we launched, this video is going to be your foundation. And there we go much deeper on advanced systems, production grade agents, and how to scale your Voice AI agency. But I would strongly suggest understanding this roadmap first. And I'm gonna walk you through the two most effective strategies for getting that first client, why IRL will win in 2026, and how to deal with the dreaded, have you done this for anyone else? This is the proven formula. I'm Alejo, co-founder of Amplify Voice. I build voice AI systems for dozens of clients across different industries. So what I'm sharing is my experience, but more importantly, the experience of hundreds of other builders in our community who are at every stage of this journey. Some closing their first clients this month, others stuck in build mode for 6 months, and then some others having built agencies that are now just running by themselves. So what I'm sharing today isn't theory. It's the pattern that I've seen working throughout 2025 and as we step into 2026. And don't get me wrong, the market is shifting, but this is the exact roadmap I would follow if I started from zero today. And if you want to go deeper in any of this, whether that's one-on-one consultation with me or learning from a whole community of Voice AI builder, check out the links below. I'm sure you'll find something that fits you. Now let's get into the video. Let me share my insights on the state of the market in 2026. There's already a lot of information out there. And relative to the adoption curve, we are no longer in the era of innovators or early adopters. All those people have probably already tried Voice AI and either implemented or decided it was not for their business. But this early majority is actually the biggest chunk of the market. A lot of them are not skeptics. That's more of a late majority, but yes, you will face more skepticism because there are a lot of AI projects at companies that are failing actively, particularly when it comes to custom AI development. So you will have more competition because the tools are mature. There's an easier entry point for people to start building Voice AI. And that is incredible news for you. But you're going to need a solid sales strategy if you're going to make this work. Costs are reasonable. We're getting to the point where a receptionist might cost 2 to 5 times more than what they would pay you for one of these solutions. And it is clear that there's issues that it solves that are major pain points of companies nowadays, like staffing, serving clients 24/7 when this is a requirement from a lot of users. We're in a digital world. Everything is on the internet. The internet doesn't sleep. And companies' brand voice. There's been more focus on marketing through the brand voice now than ever. So that consistency and reliability of voice is very important. And although content is saturated, there is so much noise out there. Authenticity and proof can cut through the noise. And this does not require you putting your face on camera, because there's already a proven playbook that exists for you to get your first client and then your second and then your third. So let me walk you through this roadmap. In the first day, what we're going to focus on is on your skills. What are you already bringing to the table? Maybe it's experience, maybe it's people you know. Maybe it's just curiosity. Then we're going to get into this first week, the build foundations. We're going to build simple first, because a working demo beats a perfect, unfinished system every time. Then we're going to talk about niche focus. This is huge for 2026 and it'll make everything else easier, trust me. And then sales is the hurdle. The last 15 days, we're really just going to focus on sales. But you'll see how this is related to everything else that we do. Because it's not about what you want, it's not about what you think, it's about what clients want, it's about what the market wants. So let me share some insights. And it all starts with your skills audit. This skills audit is simply a conversation you're going to have with Claude or ChatGPT. One of the key questions that you're going to try to figure out is, are you a builder first or seller first? You might already have clarity on this, but this is very important to understand where you're at. Number 2 is, what experience are you already bringing to the table? This can be work experience at a job. It can also be projects, but we want these to be related to a certain industry. So even if just a little bit, what industry experience do you have? And then the final question is, who do you know? And I get so many people that say, well, but I don't know anybody who owns a business. It is extremely unlikely that in the last 10 years of your life, you have not met one person who owns a business. You might not know that they own a business, but it is 100% guarantee that somebody that you know knows somebody else who owns a business. And we're going to talk about that later. The final thing that you're going to talk about with Claude or ChatGPT are your strengths and weaknesses. This awareness is the superpower for you starting out. Because people with shiny object syndrome are going to waste weeks jumping from platform to platform, trying this tool or another, and asking, well, what is working for you? And then immediately changing what they're doing. So let me practice what I preach. We're going to copy those and we're going to open Claude. And we're going to ask Claude, I'm trying to assess my own skills as I prepare to launch a voice AI agency. Please ask me explorative questions about these areas, which are the exact areas I just showed you. Okay, so I changed to incognito because it actually knows about our agency. And I want to make this experience as relevant to you as possible. So builder first or seller first? When you imagine your first 5 clients, do you picture yourself building their voice AI solutions or closing deals and managing relationships while someone else builds? It's a great question. If a prospect said yes tomorrow, could you deliver a working voice agent within a week on your own? Maybe within a week is ambitious. Or would you need to find or hire technical help first? What excites you more, optimizing a prompt until it handles edge cases perfectly, or getting on a call and diagnosing a business pain points? This is great. Have you actually built and deployed? What's your background before this? Have you ever sold a service? Interesting. And then who do you know? If you need to get 3 discovery calls booked this week, who would you reach out to? Man, that's such a good question. Do you have relationships in any specific industry verticals? Where voice AI solves obvious problems, we're going to touch on this. And then, do you know other agency owners, developers, marketers who could become referral partners or collaborators? Then, for strengths and weaknesses, what do people typically come to you for help with? What part of running this agency are you most likely to procrastinate on or avoid? This, for most people, is sales. But if it's not for you, then that's a really good countersign that you might be much more prone to selling. And then rate yourself 1 to 10, technical building, great, awesome. Oh, this is so good. Okay, so that is essentially the skills audit. And it's all about self-awareness. In the early stages, the more awareness of yourself that you can create, the more pitfalls you will avoid. And we talk in much more depth about what you're bringing to the table in the masterclass, which is linked below for you to check out later. And now that we talked about the skills audit, let's talk about the build foundations. It really starts here. Number 1, it's choose your tools and commit. The masterclass is going to give you my recommendations and why I make those recommendations. You might already be into a certain voice AI platform. Maybe it's working for you, maybe not. I generally recommend to start with retail because the learning curve is much lower and you're able to do pretty much everything that you're able to do in every other platform when it comes to phone numbers. If your vision is doing voice agents on websites and that's the main thing that you do, Vapi might be a platform for you, but for anybody else, go with retail. And actually, you can do voice agents on retail on websites through a platform called ChatDash. So, my recommendation is retail, but it's not about me, it's about you. It's about what you're comfortable with. So if you're already very comfortable with a platform, consider whether changing platforms is going to set you back. It's an important consideration. So commit to the platforms that you choose. Put some thought into it, but don't compare platforms for 6 weeks. So these are my recommendations for a voice platform retail for LLM. GPT 4.1 is proven, is tested, it works. And then for automation platform N8N. We have many examples in our school community of people who change platforms and suddenly their momentum dies because suddenly they're back to focusing on only building instead of moving sales forward. Okay, now I know that this next one doesn't sound like it's important for build foundations. Why am I talking about building and community? How are those two things related? Well, I mean, one of the biggest principles for starting a business is learn from others. Learn from others' mistakes, find mentors. You'll rise way faster with shortcuts and avoiding setbacks. And look for a community that you actually vibe with. Don't just join any community, or worse, every community. Try different communities. Go ahead and find which one resonates with you the most. Find the communities that share resources, the communities that have live troubleshooting. So when you get stuck, someone's there for you. And find your people. You are going to have so much more success and be able to see so much more beyond the next few months if you find the people that will keep you accountable and that are actually interested in your success. This is not negotiable in 2026. It's very much the lone wolves will get left behind. So whether that's our school community or any other that you vibe with, find your people. Okay, now let's actually talk about building, specifically building your first agent. First, you'll need to choose inbound or outbound. What drove your curiosity into voice AI at first? The concept of like the agent answering calls inbound or making calls outbound. What you are most interested in, you're gonna put more effort into. Then use cases, keep it simple. Is it answering phones? Is it speed to lead, where somebody maybe fills out a form in an ad or in a website and we call them right away in the exact point that they are showing interest? Or maybe some appointment booking use case. If there is something about what I'm saying that is resonating with you right now, follow that. This is not forever, it's just for your first agent. And then a reminder for your first agent and for your first client, a working demo beats a perfect but unfinished product. Speed is everything. And this next thing I think is really cool. There's only really 3 skills in that first week that you're gonna wanna focus on. Number 1 is prompting. Prompting ChatGPT is not the same as prompting a voice agent, even if you're using GPT 4.1 for both. Figuring out how to make a good prompt, really important. And I do have the masterclass if you're not very clear on, well, how is prompting for voice agents different? Or what is that optimal prompt structure? I got the masterclass for that. Number 2, automations. Anything that you can do to simplify your life with automations, take it. I'll give you an example. Retail uses a calendar booking platform called cal.com. It comes within the platform, you click a few buttons and boom, you have a calendar booking function. Now, making it work reliably is not just a few clicks, but you don't have to go learn a whole other platform. So start with what is simplest to reach. Another one is N8N. There's a lot of education and buzz around N8N, and deservedly so, because it's very powerful. And then the third one is integrations. You'll also use N8N for this. The difference between integrations and automations is integrations talks about, well, what systems are you plugging in together? The customer's CRM, where they have all their clients or their leads or their deal data. And then automations is, well, after the call ends, send an email. N8N helps with both of those. And if you're curious about N8N, if you haven't started, I do have an N8N course for non-programmers, and you can check it out above and in one of our playlists. I built it specifically for people just starting out. And please, for your first agent, avoid anything related to knowledge bases, multi-prompt setups, or conversation flow setups, HIPAA-related scenarios, this is medical, or over-engineered integrations, trying to plug in 5 platforms together. We'll get here, but to start out with, this is going to consume so much of your time and energy that you're not actually going to be growing your skills. You're just going to be reading documentation on why HIPAA exists. So do yourself a favor, keep it simple, keep it practical, and define a finish point. My agent will be finished when it's able to book an appointment in my calendar, And that's it. And that's your first agent. And then your second will be better, and then your third will be better. But start with your first. Remember that in order to sell, you're going to need to show. So creating a demo is your goal, not creating a perfect system. And simple at this stage will beat complex because it will be more reliable. Avoid the technical rabbit holes. Don't get too deep into documentation. And if you don't know where to go from here or why this thing is not working, ask for help. This is really important. You're building to sell, not to perfect. The perfection will come much later because the goal is actually not perfection, but continuous improvement. And if you're curious about that, you can go check out the masterclass. Okay, so that is going to be your first agent, your build foundations. Choosing your tools, including my recommendations, finding your community so you can grow from others, building your first agent, which includes choosing inbound or outbound, which use case, and creating a working demo. Then the 3 skills that you want to focus on, which are prompting, automations, and integrations. And please avoid over-engineering at first. It's not going to get you closer to your first sale. Okay, now we can start having fun. So in your week 2, you're going to get into your niche discovery. Maybe you built an agent with an industry you already had experience in or an industry you were interested in. A niche is more than just law firms. It's the identity of the business. For example, family law firms. But niches are supposed to be hyper specific. Medium-sized family law firms with less than 20 employees. Can we do better? Yeah. Medium-sized family law firms with less than 20 employees in Manhattan, New York. It's not about widening your reach, because at that point you're competing against everybody, and guess what? You're behind. That's the reality in 2026. But the more you narrow, it's not about, oh, I will run out of people to talk to. It's rather than the business that is that niche, that less than 20 employee family law, medium size in Manhattan, is going to say, oh, well, they know me. I want to work with that agency that only focuses on who I am. That's what I mean with identity of the business. And you might not know what you're going for today. And that's okay, but niche selection is more critical now than ever. So I want to share with you a resource that we built for our school community. So I'm gonna flash it. You can actually get this as a resource from the masterclass that you can go check out later. But let me walk you through this and what's important. This is what we've identified. This is what works for builders. Number 1 is, what industries do you have experience in, right? Do you have work experience? What industries do you have close connections in? You might not know any out of the top of your head. So go to your phone, scroll through your contacts, scroll through your LinkedIn, your Instagram. Oh yeah, this person does work here. Oh yeah, this person does do that. Don't rely on your memory, go check your phone. And then what industries are you interested in? This is important for you to be aware of, that self-awareness. But we're going to guide your decision of niche based on work experience or close connections. Awareness of your interest might help you define which one you're going for in the end. And then we get specific. Well, let's write down some niches within those industries. Real estate is an industry. Wholesale real estate investors is a niche. Then dental is an industry. Medium-sized practices is a niche. Digital marketing agencies that run ads or do web development. Reservation-only restaurants, pet daycare, injury legal offices that are small practices, and day spas. You're gonna fill yours. Within the industry, what niche resonates most? Think size of the business, focus of the business, what kind of clients do they take and what clients do they not take? And then we're gonna think about what pain points do they face? What might be blocking a company in this niche from growing? What are the specific use cases for voice agent within each niche? We're gonna get there. First, you're gonna write down your niches. You can do this in a piece of paper. You can get this this document from the masterclass, and then you're gonna think about what is blocking that company from growth. Is it lead generation? Is it getting new leads? And you might say, yeah, every company wants new leads. Well, sometimes they're getting leads, but they're not qualifying them. Salespeople are wasting their time talking to people that are just not interested in buying. So is lead qualification the problem? Is appointment setting the problem? Is it they fill out the form, they are qualified, but nobody ever reaches out to them? Or they don't follow up? Then, is it employee training, onboarding? There are definitely use cases for voice AI here, but for it to resonate with business owners and your future clients, you'll need to have deep experience in how to train and how to onboard into that specific niche. And then customer support. A lot of companies nowadays, their users require the company to be 24/7. So this is huge for some niches, not all. Okay, let's move on to step number 3, which is, okay, now let's identify the solutions. Let's say day spas. Day spas might be a place that you have connections in, and their top 2 pain points that you identified, just keep it to 2, is that they're missing phone calls from new prospects who want to book after hours. They're also lacking recurring client bases. Many clients just book once, they have a good time, and then they leave, and then they never come back. And the current solutions, how they try to solve the problem, is human receptionist. But this is the problem. The human receptionist is missing the calls. So you might say, hey, I actually think that a potential solution to problem number 1 is an AI receptionist that can answer calls and book appointments for services with clients at any hour of the day or night. And then the second pain point, lacking recurrent client base, can be solved with a voice agent that reaches out to the clients after their service to ask for feedback and book a follow-up session. Maybe even give them a coupon, 10-20% off for giving feedback, maybe a Google review. So for each of your niches, for each of those 2 pain points that you identified, write them out. This is going to give you incredible clarity. This is something we did when we started out our agency. The problem is that we never niched down. It took us 10 months to find our first client. We are 2 years into this journey now, and we are seeing it everywhere. Now more than ever, niching down is a pre-requirement for a successful agency. So if you're not bringing a ton of clients from other businesses that you own, or you don't have inbound leads like we have our YouTube channel, then focusing on a niche is critical. So we're going to place this here front and center and keep going. Next, the warm network strategy is the most effective strategy for getting your first client. So who do you already know? In what industries? Ask yourself, where do I have existing relationships or credibility? We want to explore through conversations, not only Claude researching the niche that we're interested in, validating the idea of, hey, would this type of voice agent be useful for your company? And we're just having a conversation, we're gathering data. And if you are not a domain expert, if you don't know that niche by heart, find a partner who is, or commit to becoming the expert in that industry. Finding a partner is hard, it takes time. So if the finding a partner resonates with you, make sure it's someone you already know. Invite somebody who has deep domain expertise to become part of this journey. Maybe that could be your future co-founder. Just make sure it's someone you already trust. You can partner up with people you meet before you start this journey through communities, for example. It's happened in our community where 2 agencies kind of come together to form a new thing. But before getting your first client, there's a lot of pitfalls. And there's a lot of things you don't know about where you want to take your company. So if you're bringing the technology, the commitment to learning the technology, make sure the other person is bringing the domain expertise. Or if you're already bringing the domain expertise, find the builder that will complement you. Because prompting without domain expertise leads to failed agents. And not failed that you ask a question and it hallucinates, but failed in irrelevant. You're creating a flow of a sales process that doesn't exist. You're just making it up. So we want these demos to resonate. They have to be as close to the real world as possible. So we want to create demos that resonate, and that domain expertise, or at the very least domain understanding, that niche understanding, will help your demos resonate with the other person. So for the conversation of niche selection, let me leave you with this. Skills without niche application means you're a hobbyist. It's just an interest. You're just building voice AI for fun. But the skills with a solution to a real problem in a specific niche, that's business. And that is what businesses are willing to pay money for. Solutions. And because this niche selection is going to be so tied to selling, let's jump into your week 3 and 4. As many people as you can talk to in those industries that you have experience or connections in, the better. And this section is going to take significantly more time and depth than the other sections because there's a lot to it. So let me go through all of it. This is the goal with this roadmap. It's closing one client in 30 days. And the 30 days doesn't actually matter. The whole point is that you have clarity on what is the next step and a certain sense of urgency to just get to the next step, not get stuck for weeks just researching niches. And this is where we need to get a little uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because here's the reality most builders don't actually want to hear. You can have the best technical skills, the perfect prompt structure, and a demo that works flawlessly, and you'll still fail if you don't figure out how to sell. And I'm not talking about becoming a sales expert. I'm not talking about reading 10 books and watching 200 videos. I'm talking about getting one person to pay you to solve their problem. That's it. One client that you can help in 30 days. And here is how. Number one, the warm network strategy. I told you the what, go talk to people, go talk to your network. But that's not helpful. And I've been in that place where I hear this strategy works. Oh, okay, great. And how do I do that strategy? So let me show you the how. First, make a list of 20 people. These are not 20 qualified leads, not 20 business owners, just 20 people that you know. Be friends, family, former colleagues, adjacent contacts, neighbors, or a person you met at a conference 2 years ago. Anyone that you could text and they would respond. And we're not saying, hey, you want to buy a voice agent? No. All you're doing is sending a message that it's a greeting. Be yourself. There's no need to be awkward. So just have a conversation. It's like, this is why I'm messaging you. I'm helping family law firms solve this issue, this benefit, by doing this. Who do you know in that industry that might be open to me picking their brain? And I'm actually going to give you the example that we did in the masterclass because it was just so specific. And this might read a little bit weird at first, just modify it to whatever might sound natural in text. And we landed on, I help single office family law practices make more money by converting leads after hours that would otherwise go to your competitor without the hassle of hiring more staff or dealing with overseas outsourcing. I know this reads like a marketing message, but this is an elevator pitch. This is the 10-second summary of your whole business. In a text, you might say something a little bit more friendly, like, hey John, I'm helping family law offices, or I'm helping law offices make more money by implementing voice agents. Do you know any business owners in that niche? Or maybe this one resonates more with you. Hey John, I'm learning about law offices and some opportunities to integrate AI. Do you know any business owners in that space? And all you're asking to do is a 3-way intro. Something along the lines of, my friend Alejo is working on something related to your industry, your law offices. He has a question about what you do. Could you share some time with him? This is a friend of a friend. There's no reason somebody would be apprehensive to give you an introduction. These market research conversations are critical, and they often lead to opportunities. And you'll know that you landed on something fruitful, on a real opportunity, when the person that you're talking to is actually interested. But you are not pitching. Forget about what you do. This is not about you. This is about them. This is about the issues that they have at work on a day-to-day basis. This is about understanding what their day looks like. Just have a conversation. Be interested in who they are and what they do. That is it. And yeah, some specific questions are going to come up. People love venting about their issues at work, so let them. Be an active listener and let them share. These warm intros have infinitely higher conversion rate than cold outreach. Because in cold outreach, you're fighting an uphill battle against skepticism, against 10 other emails that read exactly like yours that they got that same week. With warm outreach, you get people who are open to helping you and being helped by you because you're just a friend of a friend. Again, you're asking for referrals, not asking them to buy. And these conversations help you understand the market and refine your positioning. And in our experience, the first client almost always comes from a warm network, from a friend of a friend. And these are the questions you kind of want to ask. You want to understand the situation, qualify them, and get them excited. But this understanding comes first. How are you currently handling incoming calls? Once you're deep into the conversation, once you kind of like get a grasp on what they do, what their law office focuses on specifically, what their current day looks like. It's not an interview, it's just a conversation. But at some point in that conversation, you're going to be able to take control of the conversation. Not too early, but these are the questions that you definitely want answered during that conversation. How are you currently handling incoming calls? How many calls do you think you miss in a typical week, or your office misses in a typical week? What happens when someone calls after hours? And then tell me about your intake process. What info do you ask from people? And have you tried any automation before? Any of those questions, and listen to what resonates with them, can be something that gets them excited. Excited about what? That is what you need to figure out. For example, they keep talking about the sales team and the sales department, and the sales team doesn't do this and the sales team doesn't do that. It's a frustration, but would they be excited about helping solve some of those issues with that sales team? Questions like, if you could wave a magic wand, what would you change? And then listen, because all of those are opportunities. So you're listening for pain points and buying signals. Avoid pitching too early, and then transition to the demo if you already have a demo at this point, which you should, even any demo. Based on what you shared, let me show you something. In fact, cut that. It's like, let me show you something. I'm excited about this. If you're excited about something, it is very likely that others will be too. Even if you don't get to the sale, this is a new connection that you made, and you don't never know where those connections take. And yes, I know, it can feel weird, and you might say, well, I don't have a warm network. Or you might be very reluctant to talk to people you know. But this is the proven path. The people in our community who closest their first client the fastest did this. And the ones who were stuck for months avoided it. They were trying email, and they were trying ads, and they were losing time and losing money. And soon you'll see why I focus so much on that first client. So let's move on to action step number 2, which is creating your service offering. What is it that you're actually offering here? You can't just sell a voice agent, but at this point, a voice agent, you just search and you'll see 1,000 options that are $29 a month and $49 a month. Just a voice agent is not what you're going for. You're going for business solutions. And sometimes those business solutions aren't the voice agent at first. So through your niche conversations, you can figure out what attracts your niche first. What is that easy entry point? Like a website chatbot, something they can wrap their head around. SEO, they're not getting traffic. Maybe they have somebody who's running ads and they're just not good, and you happen to have experience running ads. Or a free AI audit. Maybe they're not ready to implement. Maybe they're still very skeptical, even though they're willing to have a conversation with you. So just offering a free audit around their systems and how prepared they are to implement AI, and where the lowest hanging fruit opportunities are or are not, that could be very valuable for a company. And there is this platform called Audit that does this so smoothly. Yes, you'll need training. Yes, you'll need to learn about AI audits, but they automate a ton of the process while still having a conversation with the lead. Because at the end of the day, what they want are insights on how ready they are or how to become more ready to implement AI. So shout out to Jeremy for creating this platform, which is awesome. I don't want to distract you. Let's keep talking about voice agents, but sometimes the most pressing business problem is something else. That's why you need to listen more than you talk. Then speed to lead, this is a voice agent use case, which is, let's say they are running ads. Let's say people are coming to their website, but they're not being reached out to fast enough. So speed to lead means you call with the voice agent, you call the leads as they're coming in, answer the questions, and get them further into their sales process. This can also be done with SMS. This can also be done with email. And then finally, a WhatsApp or SMS chatbot can resonate with a lot of people because they've all experienced it. Then again, most people's perception of a chatbot is dumb. You think that they're static and can't do much. So although your core offer are voice agents, your attraction offer can be something else. Maybe even something that you already know how to do, that you have experience in, that you have results in. Or maybe you know somebody else who does. If you help solve another business's problems, they will be grateful to you. So even if you connect them with somebody else who can help them with the major pain point that they're expressing, They will see you as valuable as well. And then you can bring up the voice agents. Once their main issue is solved, great, wonderful. Well, you also talked about missing calls. So I made this demo for you. Let me call it and show you how that would work for you. It's all about conversations. Okay. And remember that your step one today is not all of this, most likely. Your step one is learning. It's learning prompting and ADN automations, learning your niche deeply. That takes me to number 3, which is the phenomenon in 2026. Everything is fake. You watch a video and it looks super real, and then you realize, wait, I don't think this is real. You don't know what to believe anymore. So proof is king. And this is where we bring up the dreaded how to deal with, have you done this for anyone else? Nobody wants to buy an unproven system, at least not in the stage of the market that we're in. And everybody can talk about what AI could do, but one case study rises above all of the noise. So before that first client, you can do these things. If you have a business, use your own business. If you have a friend who has a business, offer a free pilot or cheap. This one is up to you. I recommend doing it free versus cheap, because with cheap, you're devaluing yourself. With free, you're doing it with a purpose, which is get your case study. Then again, you can argue with cheap, the other person also has some skin in the game. Whatever path you take, make sure the pilot is very clear. These are our objectives. This is for how long we're going to run it. And this is what I need from you. The what I need from you sometimes is very fuzzy. It's like, well, what do I need from them? I'm building it, right? Well, you need access to their CRM, etc., etc. And all of that is deeply demonstrated in the masterclass. Again, the link is below. You can also get our case studies in the community. So let's say that you are interested in law firms. We've worked with law firms. We have a case study in the community, and you can get that with the premium subscription in the community. And essentially, these use cases go through a certain use case in a certain industry. We have 2 right now, and we're going to be adding more, so you guys can leverage these. These case studies aren't about lying to your client that you've already built this for somebody else. This is about proof that this works in their niche, or that their same use case worked in a different niche. And this is where you need to take off your builder hat and put on your consultant hat. So this is the plan of how we're going to replicate the results of what worked in that industry or what worked in that use case, and how we're going to replicate for you. And then finally, find someone willing to test in exchange for a detailed case study, that free pilot. So this might not be a friend's business directly, but again, a friend of a friend, a referral, a connection. And for your case study, this is what you want to document. The before state. What was the problem? What was the pain point? What you built. The after state, the measurable results, emphasis on measurable. These are numbers. And then the testimonial in their own words. So to your next client, maybe first paid client, maybe second paid client, you bring this, and the level of confidence is going to skyrocket. It's going to break through all of the noise, because proof is king. And that proof is even more important than a super polished design of a voice agent or super complex diagram flow. You're not interested in polished. You're interested in getting proof. It's going to be your best marketing asset, because you're not talking about yourself anymore. You're talking about this other person that you helped. And then suddenly that conversation with your warm network could become, I just helped John achieve, this result. Do you know anybody else that's dealing with the same problem that John was dealing with? But don't wait till you have that case study to reach out to your warm network. It can always be a follow-up message. Somebody who did answer your message and did try to help you, they end up not knowing anybody that was relevant, and that's okay. But you could say, hey, I just helped this person, this friend of a friend. This is an issue that they were going through. Have you heard this from any of your friends? You're not pitching, you're just asking. Okay, number 4 for your sales journey. IRL will win in 2026. IRL stands for in real life, shaking somebody's hand versus meeting them through Zoom. And although Zoom beats texting, especially for the first time that you meet somebody, Shaking their hand and looking them in the eye carries so much power because everything that is virtual nowadays is saturated. Everybody is running LinkedIn outreach. Everybody is putting their lives online. And the in-person cuts through the noise immediately. And actually, business groups give you massive access to decision makers. What do I mean with business groups? There are these organizations whose purpose is bringing together different CEOs, executives, founders. One of them is called Chamber of Commerce. This is everywhere in the world, in pretty much every city in the world. There's another one that's called BNI. Maybe you can find some industry-specific associations. I highly encourage you find your niche-specific associations. For marketing meetups or marketing groups, American Marketing Association. There's many real estate groups. This still goes along the concept of finding your people. And you want to go where your niche already is. So find out where they hang out, find out who they hang out with, and that's where you want to go. It does require an investment of time and money. And if you have not closed your first client and you don't quite have that proof, although a case study will certainly help with starting conversations, you're going to want to start here only if you've already gone through your whole warm network. And the challenge I gave you, the list 20 people, is not your whole network. It's just the first step of reaching out to your warm network. So ideally, you've gotten that pilot client, you've gotten that first paid client, then come join these business groups. And that proof is going to take you very far because these people are looking to grow their business and are open to new technologies, generally speaking. So if you're coming here, don't show up to pitch. You will lose credibility if they sense that you're trying to get something from them. It's the same thing, just start conversations. Then listen for others' problems. Some of those problems, Voice AI could help. Then offer value first. What insights have you seen? Offer to connect them with people you know. Offer a free AI audit. And then you can follow up with specific solutions to problems you hear. But it also comes back to don't pitch too early. And why this works in 2026 is because everybody else is hiding behind their screens. I was literally talking to a founder yesterday that after sharing these insights with him said, I'd rather just kind of stay behind the screen and build my business from here. It's like, yeah, that might be what you're comfortable with. That might be what you know. But in 2026, that's not the road to success. You're going to build trust faster through face-to-face than 100 LinkedIn interactions. And you'll hear the actual language that prospects use to describe their problems. And this can make your pitch 10 times better if you listen closely. Sales psychology is not something you get in a book. It's just being more human. It's understanding what resonates with others. Then, when it comes to packaging your offer, you want to focus on outcomes, not features. It's not AI will solve everything. You want to get specific. Let me go back to this example. I help single office family law practices make more money by converting leads after hours that would otherwise go to your competitor. Hyper specific. And if you know their niche, you know what they struggle with without the hassle of hiring more staff or dealing with overseas outsourcing. I don't mention AI once in my value offer because that's not important. They just want their problem solved. And then for which use cases to start with, there are 3 that I've identified. This is part of the masterclass and I'll dig deeper there. It's lead list reactivation. Leads come in, but never get contacted or were not interested 6 months ago, but might be interested now. Then speed to lead. The lead is hot, strike now. Call them up, answer the questions, move them along the sales process. And then finally, after hours receptionist. During business hours, there's probably somebody answering the phone, even if not super effective at answering the phone. But after hours makes the conversation a lot simpler because there's no conversation of replacing anybody, no comparison on performance versus the receptionist. So you want to start with simple, clear ROI use cases. They invest this money in, they get this money out. Then pricing, simplify for pricing. When it comes to your first client, keep it simple. I'm going to build this agent for you for $1,000, $2,000. Then for later clients, you might get a little more sophisticated, a monthly plus usage. Remember, you're just going for the case study, for that first client that will bring you many more clients. And the key question here is asking the other person, what's it worth to you to solve this problem? How much money would it save you? How much money would it make you? And that can be a key data point for you to price correctly. But don't get too obsessed around pricing. Keep it simple. And because I know you have more questions about pricing, I'm going to share a couple more things, which are you can do 50% upfront, 50% when delivered. You can also share it. I'll give you 3 months of support free to make sure that the agent is working like you need it to work. So, one-time fee, 50% upfront, 50% at the end, and 3 months of support for free. These 3 months of support can turn into a monthly commitment afterwards that you do actually get paid for recurringly. And even if it doesn't, you have your case study, you're good to go. If you don't have any clarity on the pricing for your solution or for your industry, check industry benchmarks, talk to Claude about it, or talk to others in your community. But what you don't want to do is overpromise complexity, like a full AI operating system for your corporation, especially not before you deliver to one agent. Avoid vague positioning like, we do AI for businesses. That's not going to resonate with anybody. And avoid a race to the bottom on pricing. Cheaper actually makes people more skeptical, not more willing to buy. And there will always be a solution cheaper than yours. If they bring up a competitor, like, hey, I saw this other agent that is like, way cheaper than yours. Why wouldn't I go with them? Bring up the who you are. Think about your skills audit that you did. What are your skills that you're bringing to the table? And that you care. Just like face-to-face IRL is so important nowadays, people want to do business with people who care about their success. So communicate that to them from a place of authenticity and then show them. So we're going to meet once per week or once every 2 weeks so I can check in and make sure that this is what you imagined. Because what's important to me is that you're successful. If you're not successful, then I can't be. That's why I'm committed to making this work. And that's something that $99 a month solution is not going to give you. That's real. That is true. So use that. And number 6, make it real. Let's say you are on that discovery call, that discovery meeting, and you did build your demo. Maybe it's totally relevant to what they're doing, maybe not so much. But this is what I recommend that you do. Share with the client. This will take about 5 minutes, and I'll call the agent live to show you exactly how the agent achieves this specific outcome, whether it's relevant to them or not. Feel free to ask questions at the end. If there's some way that you can tie what you built before to something maybe they mentioned that is a pain point for them, remark it for them, because maybe this is their first experience with a voice agent. So if you build this to book appointments for X industry, make it relevant to them, or note how you could make it relevant to them. And then you call your agent, you have a natural conversation. Maybe they're going to want to call it after and just offer, they're like, hey, you want to try it? And just have them call it again. But you call it first, because they need to see how the normal flow goes. Otherwise, they're not going to know what to say, and they're not going to have an experience. What we want is for them to have an experience with your voice agent, whatever that experience might be. If they don't call it, then they're just watching. They're not being part of the experience. And then part of that experience is being able to also watch it. And that's through a dashboard that can show the call outcome, the call recording, the analytics. The dashboard that I recommend is called Chat Dash. I'll leave a 30% coupon below. We've tried every dashboard. We have coupons for many dashboards, but Chat Dash is really the one we are the happiest with. This is what Chat Dash looks like. I'll only give you a quick peek because this video is long enough and it's not about the tools themselves. It's about your process. People can, your client can look at each conversation. They have different views for it. They can look at the outcomes of the conversations. So this is key to helping somebody who doesn't know voice agents or doesn't know them well to make it real, make it tangible for them. This is the platform you would get access to. My job is to make sure the agent behind the scenes is working as well as it can so it can close your leads. Congratulations, they said yes, they are ready to move forward, and you are going to send them a proposal. And this proposal you want to keep very simple. Claude can help you build it. It's going to be a simple Word document that just has the scope, what you're building and what you are not building. That's very important. What is defined as success? Then the timeline, how long it's going to take you to build it and deploy it, how much is it going to cost them, and what is the outcome that you expect? How do you know that this agent was successful? Keep it very simple. Jump on another call or another meeting to look at the proposal together. In my opinion, that is the ideal thing. So any objections that they have or any things that they thought worked one way, but it's actually a different way, you can deal with right there, right then. Don't just send an email and then wait because you are likely to get ghosted. Be a human in this human process. Face to face. Let's talk about it. Have a conversation and then listen. And remember, your client doesn't need the most advanced system that you could possibly imagine. They just need their one problem solved. So give them confidence that you are the person to solve it. And this phase is the phase most people quit, the selling. They have no guidance, they overcomplexify, they try every possible sales channel, they try cold. Why would you talk to 20 people if you could talk to 20,000? It's because those 20,000 people are already being bombarded by dozens that look and sound exactly like you. So keep it human. And calling your warm network is gonna feel awkward at first, trust me. That awkwardness is a good sign. You're stepping into your discomfort zone. And showing up in IRL groups, business groups, takes effort, takes time, it takes money. And the builders who succeed push through this discomfort. They make the list of 20 people. They go to the Chamber of Commerce meeting. They ask for the referral. They show the demo, even if the last time they did it, it failed. Those people close their first client. You can wait until your agent is perfect, or you can get your first client in the next 30 days. The choice is truly yours. And because I always want to give you more, and it's kind of a problem because I end up working so much, keep in mind that this whole masterclass is many, many hours. You gotta be ready for it. You're gonna take pauses throughout, but walks you through everything. It's not only getting your first client, but it'll also show you how to package your solution for your 10th client. It'll walk you through how to close. It'll walk you through how to build, how to deliver. And in that delivering, it's not that demo grade, it's a production grade. And you'll have the exact checklist that you will need in order to make sure that you deliver successfully. So go check that out and come to our school community. We'd love to have you and I would love to meet you. So let's bring this all together. Today, your first step is your skills audit. Talk to ChatGPT, talk to Claude. After that, we start the first week. Choose your tools and commit. Create your first agent there. Finding community might feel optional, but it's gonna accelerate you. So find the community that resonates. These are the 3 skills you wanna focus on. Prompting, automations, integrations. And avoid complexity because you're gonna get stuck here and not going out there and finding your first sale. Week 2 is gonna be your niche discovery. This is gonna be a lot of introspection, but also conversations with your warm network. Think what you know and who you know. And then weeks 3 and 4, this is where it gets real. Make the list, reach out to your warm network. Figure out exactly what you are selling. Voice agent, yeah, but for what? What is the use case? What problem are you solving? Get proof, whatever that proof might be. And before that first paid client, there's ways for you to get proof. Keep in mind, human and in person will win in 2026. Make sure you're packaging your offer. Don't talk about features. It's not about it being 24/7. What is the business result? And remember to simplify your pricing. And then make it real. Do the demo, show them the dashboard, and keep proposals simple. And this is not theory. This works. And it works great in 2026. And you now know exactly what to do in the next 30 days. I'd love to hear where you are in this journey in the comments below. Are you in week 1 and figuring out what this whole voice AI thing is? Or do you feel stuck in build mode with no clients yet? Or maybe you're about to make those uncomfortable warm network calls? I'd love to hear from you. I answer every single comment below. And remember that I am here to help. The link to the community is below, and the link to the masterclass is also below. Thank you for watching, and remember to never stop prompting.